Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today's gonna be a very busy video because we're gonna be doing pretty much everything else today. Now I'm crossing my fingers, really hoping all this stuff does get delivered later from Amazon. It was actually supposed to get delivered about an hour ago, but it keeps getting delayed, so I'm really hoping it doesn't get delayed till tomorrow. But for now, I'm just gonna plan on it getting delivered in maybe like an hour, hopefully. So far, just looking around, we have a lot to do. And you probably know what we're going to be doing from either the thumbnail and the title, but we're pretty much going to be doing everything else today. Now, I don't know for sure if I'm going to be planting much this week, but the main plan today is to get as much soil in these pots as possible. So what's hopefully going to be delivered is another one of these, and then I'll have 1, 2, 3, and then the other one will be right here too. I'm thinking I might put a pot right here. That might be something cool to do, but the main plan is I'll be mixing like 3 different types of, well, technically 4 different types of stuff together. I bought compost, I have this soil, I have a ton of perlite, and then I have coconut coir, and I'll be mixing all of those in the wheelbarrow, which I just showed a second ago. But all of that will be mixed together, and that'll be the main just soil mix I'll be using in every single one of these pots. I might do a little bit of some different things with some particular plants, like the blueberry plants, that those will be thriving, and so I'll make some changes here and there. But for now, I'm gonna just slowly get ready for everything to be delivered. And now the coconut coir is a giant block, so I have to add a lot of water to it so it can grow. So I have the bucket ready. I think I'm gonna go ahead and fill that up with water, and then I guess I'll basically just be kind of stalling for a while, waiting for everything to get delivered. So before we do go and start today's video, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you not miss a video, and please like this video. We also have to move some stuff around in the greenhouse too, so let's go ahead and do that very quickly, and then I'll go ahead and start filling up that bucket. All right, so number one today is just kind of getting stuff more ready. A lot of stuff in here is actually kind of ready to go outside, like pretty much all the flowers are, but other than that, there's not much ready yet. So a lot of stuff has been happening lately. A lot of the peppers have been starting to germinate. I'm going to let those germinate for probably another 24 hours and then transplant them tomorrow. Then down here, I'm growing 2 different things. I'm growing spinach very close to the grow lights. I'm also growing basil. Now, if you look at these pots, obviously there's way too much basil plants in this. So I'm thinking I'm going to be grabbing, so some of these pots, the seedlings are still too small, so I can't grab them yet and pull them out, but I'm thinking I'm going to try to have, so there's 3 areas. There's 1, 2, 3 holes that I ended up putting seeds in these pots. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to have at least 2 to 3 seedlings in each one. I'm going to go for 2, but hoping I can get it about to that number. If I can't, then I'll just go with 3 or maybe a little bit higher, but that would be the main plan. I also have a lot of stuff germinating in the germination room, but I think I need to think about it a little bit more. But other than that, there's not going to be a lot of stuff we're going to be doing in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the basil really quickly, and I'll give you guys an update here and there as I get more done with that. All right, I just did all the basil, and I really want to show you guys how this is looking. There's about 2 in each one. Some of them have 3, some of them have 1, but I did try to aim for about 2. Now let's go into the germination room and go ahead and check out everything else that I might consider bringing out today. All right, now I have a few things that are ready, and there's a few reasons why I don't really want to bring them out. First of all, oregano, it's making progress. Not a ton of growth yet, but it's definitely making progress slowly. Then the lemongrass is definitely ready to go out. I'm not bringing it out yet because number one, I do feel like in some spots there is still some lemongrass to grow. But another thing is I have absolutely no room left in the greenhouse currently. So I really need to move some stuff around and work from there. But some of the bunching onions are starting to grow. A lot has grown overnight, so I'm going to let it grow for about 1 more day. Then I have the broccoli. The broccoli definitely has too many seeds in this area, but for now, I'm just going to leave that how it is. I'm going to let it keep germinating because it is attached to a tray of asparagus on the other side, and I really don't want to cut the tray because there's no point in cutting the tray when I'm just going to be hoping I didn't 2 days later. So the cilantro, it's slowly starting to grow. Parsley takes much longer than cilantro, and basically the lettuce is starting to grow very well, so I'm very, very excited about that. But I think for now, I'm just gonna leave everything where it is, and then I'm gonna do everything today, and I might consider taking some flowers out in a second, because I really want to show you guys kind of what I'm thinking. So if you look around, I have absolutely no space. Everything's taken up. You're probably wondering, what's up with that big shelf at the very end right there? There's no grow lights on that because the grow lights are actually being used for the strawberries currently. So I'm trying to figure out a lot for this, and the best areas to start actually growing some stuff. So I'm thinking the best thing and the most ideal thing to do would be to stall for about another day, try to get all the soil done outside, and then go ahead and plant the flowers. I'm considering doing that because the flowers are theoretically ready to go out. These ones, that's a little bit more complicated, but I guess theoretically I could go ahead and put the lemongrass right here. I might actually do that. I don't really know, to be honest. I think I'm gonna let the lemongrass grow for one more day and just try to stall as long as possible, waiting for like these and other stuff to start growing a lot more. This, I don't think any of this is ready except the Cosmos, but these down here are ready for sure. And yeah, we'll see how stuff does from that point. But for now, there's not going to be a lot of stuff growing outside, probably for about another week. I forget what day it was, but in like 3 days, it's supposed to get pretty cold again. It's going to be like 8 degrees above freezing. So plants won't really go through as much damage as like when it would hit like 32 degrees, but that is still brutally cold. And also another thing is, I went up to Lowe's the other day to see their greenhouse, and they already had a ton of stuff. All their vegetables they just had everything ready. So I'm wondering, because we've gone through multiple frosts or multiple cold nights since they got their stuff, and their stuff looks okay. So I'm wondering if and they're most likely bringing everything in at night too, but I'm considering bringing out the flowers and kind of working from there. There are still a lot of plants I could just go ahead and get rid of in here that I probably won't be using, but I really do want to work with some particular plants in here for a little bit longer with like testing and just to learn about how the plants grow. So I think for now, I'm not going to do that yet, and we'll just see how stuff grows, grows, and then we'll just work with that tomorrow. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and go outside, try to get some extra stuff ready, and then I guess I'll just kind of stall from there and wait for that order to be delivered. So I'll see you guys when I get outside. And I really want to say this really quick too. It's also extremely good that I'm doing this extra early, because even though nothing's going to be planted in these filled up pots for about another week after everything's in these pots, it gives me time to water the top of the soil to kind of let it compact into the bucket again, into the grow bag. So because last year I didn't really do that. I just kind of put the soil in until I got to the top, but after all that could compact together after a few weeks, it just it looked barely full. Some plants looked barely full. So I think I'm going to just I think I'm just gonna have like a few people outside, probably family members, and then while I'm filling up pots, someone's behind me with like the hose. And then once I finish, for an example, once I fill up that pot, they can go ahead and kind of do a pretty good amount of water on top. And then once I'm done with that, they could do the same with that. So I'm thinking that might be something good to do pretty quick, because right now I am starting to go through a lot of daylight. So once I do get that delivery, I'm going to have to really work quick if I want to get all of it done. But I do think I could get a lot of this done very, very quickly, especially now that I've done the beginning part. And I have 2 bags of soil. I don't really know what I'm going to do with both of those, because at this point, I don't really need them anymore. But I think I'm still going to keep them just in case I will. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the hose, start filling up that bucket, and see if that order is delivered. All right, it's been about 40 minutes since I did my last update. I ended up getting all the the hosing out, and I have that extension I've been telling you guys about. That one's great, and I've already used it a few times, not even in the garden, but everything's here. This thing, so this thing I need to unfold, and then I need to use the rest of that soil and that to kind of weigh it down a little bit. And then once that's weighed down, I can go ahead and start this. And I really want to give you guys some good recommendations. So that's perlite. Basically you can just search perlite on Amazon. All the perlite's the same. Then I'm using compost. If you guys want to use the same kind, that's what the label looks like. And that's the company. And you guys do want to just check them out. I do recommend that compost because it is really, really good compost. Then for coconut coir, this is, in pretty much all my soil mixes I make, this is the main ingredient. I'd say about, out of all of them, that most of my mixes is about, I'd say about 65%. There's a lot of barking going on. Wow. I'd say it's about 60%, all of that. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to do about, probably 3 shovels. I need to think about it, but I think I'm going to do 3 shovels of that, 2 shovels of this, and then 1 shovel of perlite, and a little bit of some compost, because at the end of the day, it doesn't need much compost because there's already some compost in this. So that's the main plan, and if I can add more of that, I will. And yeah, so very, very excited for all of this. But before I do go ahead and do this, I'm going to go ahead and get this ready, go ahead and put down the main bag, and I'll see you guys in a second once that is ready. And I still need to figure out what to do with these bags. All right, well, this garden is going to look so good at the end of the day. I'm already starting to imagine how everything's going to look when stuff is growing, and I'm so incredibly excited. I do think something that might look even cooler is if I had a pot back here. I'm still considering it. I'm really considering it. The only reason why I don't really want to do that is because, really, does there need to be a pot there? That's the question I'm asking myself. Plus, another question I'm asking myself is we have a ton of pots, and really there's going to be one over there. That one, I don't really know what's going to go in that, but, well, it'll probably be peppers most likely. But I don't really know what I'm going to plant in that if I do end up doing something like that. So I'm really trying to consider what to do. I might go grab a lot more basil. So that's another problem. I have not planted, well, some of the plants I really want to work with a lot this season, I've not planted as much as I'd like. So I might go back in the greenhouse later tonight and try to plant some more basil, because, well, if you guys saw what I was working with earlier, I only have 4 cups, and I'm thinking all 4 cups, or maybe 2 of them, were gonna go in one section. So I'm gonna have to go get some more stuff, because at the end of the day, I do have a lot of lettuce. I do have a lot of different greens, but there's gonna be a lot to plant over here. So I might consider doing that later tonight off camera, or maybe later in this video. But I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing all this up. And yeah, I'll give you guys an update here and there as I get more done. All right, so this is all I'm doing. I'm just basically just trying to get it to grow as much as possible, just to expand in size, and just check out all that water. That is awesome to watch. But once this is completely full, it'll fill up basically this entire pot. So I guess I'll see you guys in a second once that is completely full, and then I'll start getting the first bucket, well, the first wheelbarrow mix ready to go in these pots. All right, so depending on what this soil will go in, so I'm thinking this batch will go in the main 3 pots right there, and that's mainly going to be like herbs and lettuce and a few other kinds. So I really need that soil especially to be some of the best soil as possible, because that's what I'll be planting the most in. And I'm thinking I'll probably plant stuff in at the beginning of like June, harvest at the end of June, plant some stuff in July, harvest at the end of July, and do the same thing with fall, and then hopefully harvest that towards the end, like just good fall plants. So this soil will have the most perlite out of all of this. I wasn't planning to use this much perlite in one batch, but I ended up using half the bag just because I want this soil to be as good as possible. I'm also going to be putting a little bit of the soil. Well, I'm thinking depending on how much I have left, or if I do have any left, I might put some in the blueberry pots too. But I'm thinking I'm gonna try to fill this up as high as possible so I can just get all of them done in one wheelbarrow. So I'll probably fill this up to the very, well, I might mix it now, fill it up even more with this, but you can so far see all of them. Now, I've so far thrown a lot more on the bottom, but I wanted to just dump it out kind of in different sections so you guys can kind of see it with your own eyes. We have this beautiful coconut coir right there, very wet bin of it. Then we have the compost, and that is a very fine texture, really love that. Then we have this huge mix of soil, which is from this giant pile, and I'm thinking the rest of this will most likely be that. And then we have all the perlite, and I really do need to mix this extremely well into it. And I might add a little bit of some water as it goes, because some of this is going to be a lot drier than usual. But I'm not going to add a ton. I'll probably add, like, I might mist it on, and then that'll be it. Then I'll see you guys once I get over there ready to put this beautiful soil mix into the pot. All right, well, the first batch is ready. Somehow I need to move that over there, and then all I have to do is go ahead and start dumping stuff. And while I was mixing all of that, I ended up going to go grab another pot, and I think I am going to do some stuff right there. I'll most likely just do flowers at that point, because really, flowers would probably look incredible in this pot, or I might do like something like tomatoes, or just something really easy to grow in that pot. So I am starting to go through a little bit of some soil, a little bit quicker than I thought I would, but I'm going to go ahead and start. All right, so there's a small problem. So I just went through basically the entire wheelbarrow, and I've only filled up half of the first one, meaning it'll take 6 to completely fill this up. So I'm thinking I'm going to use both of these not so great soil bags. I'm going to do probably half of it, like 30% of that, a little bit of that, and then a little bit of some of the stuff over there, but not as much as I did before. I'm gonna mix all that, and I think I'm just gonna try to do like 2 shovels in each area, and then I'm just gonna go from there. And then yeah, so this area, I will say these 3 areas are gonna be the most important, because I'll be planting a ton of stuff in these. It won't be just I'm gonna plant it now and then that'll be the season for that. I'm just gonna constantly be planting new stuff in it, depending on what was there originally. So like basil, it'll stay there, like the lettuce, which I'm assuming will probably be most of this, or like just whatever I do with the lettuce, that'll be the plan with that. I'm thinking, since like during summer days, now it is the beginning of spring, so the sun is starting to move slightly, but during like summer, the sun does change significantly, so these 4 pots will get a lot of sun. So I'm thinking I'm going to be planting rosemary in those 4, most likely right there, and then we'll just see how stuff goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get that soil mix together really quickly, and I'll see you guys in a second. And that soil mix won't be going in this at all. I'll mainly be dumping it in this, and then I'll create a really good soil mix for the rest of it. All right, time for second round. All right, so I'm almost completely out of the main source of soil I was planning to use. So good news and bad news. Good news is everything is about halfway full. That pot is completely full. These are for the most part completely full. I'm going to try to plant these, fill them up all the way to the very top, and then I will do some water on top to kind of let it come back together, because it is really lightweight soil. So these pots right here still need that soil. There's 3 black pots over there that need soil. There's 1 on the side, and then there's 4 on the side that still needs a few scoops of the soil. I do think I have enough soil over here to complete all of that. I'm thinking I'm going to use coconut coir on all of these pots over here, because just that's what's good. And then yeah, then I think I'm going to go up to Lowe's probably and try and get some Miracle-Gro, and then dump that in every single pot. And then I think I'll probably use Miracle-Gro when I do those like trenches for like the tomatoes and basically everything else, because just that's what my last option is, because I'd rather use Miracle-Gro than topsoil, because topsoil is good sometimes. If it's just like nice soil, nice like really lightweight soil, that's when it's good. But it just has nothing in it besides just basically dirt at that point. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill that up. I think I could get about 1.5 left for this, maybe 2 if I'm really lucky, but I think that should be easily enough to fill up everything about halfway or about 2/3 of the way full. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I'll see you guys probably when I'm done. All right, so I just did the mix. This is a mix of about 3 things. The main thing being coconut coir, followed by perlite, and then a little bit of what was left of the compost. Now, for this type of setup outside, it's not the most ideal thing, but at the end of the day, I'd rather work with this than kind of what's here. So I might dump, I'm gonna do about 1 to 2 shovels in each one, or I might do 1.5, depending on what I have. But this mix will only go in these middle pots because, yeah, then I might kind of mix stuff together a little bit more, like some of this against with this, but I'll probably do that later. But right now I'm just gonna try to shovel as fast as I can because it is getting dark and there's starting to be a lot of bugs. So this will be basically, once I'm done with this will be it. All right, well, I've been out here for maybe 5 hours. Very, very, very tired. My back's gonna really hurt tomorrow from shoveling. My hands are really gonna be kind of blistery tomorrow, but at the end of the day, all of this was worth it because now I'm basically done for the week. Some stuff will start to go out, and if you do look around, the soil is a little bit lower than how I want it to be, so I'm thinking I'll probably have to just go up to Lowe's at this point, grab a ton of bags of like Miracle-Gro or maybe some topsoil, try to mix both of those together because Miracle-Gro is an absolute ripoff. So I'm thinking that might be something good. I could do like Miracle-Gro and mixed in with topsoil at that point and just dump it on top. Now it's not the most ideal thing, but I'm not paying like $800 in Miracle-Gro when I could have just spent half that on like other soil. So stuff is really looking good. I'm very excited about it because I was hoping I'd get this much done, but I didn't know if I would. So stuff is still, like what I was saying, it's still a little bit too low than how I want it to be. And I'm about to go through with the hose and try to water everything. Now you're probably wondering, why on earth would I do that? The only reason why I'm doing that is so as the night goes by and throughout tomorrow when the sun does come out next, the soil can dry out. But the ideal thing about watering it now is it can all compact together, not super tightly, but to the point where I know the exact level. And once it does start to rain during summer and spring, I don't have to worry about the soil shrinking half the size like some of the pots did last year. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And yeah, this will basically be the end of the video. And I think that I basically did everything else I really wanted to. So all the pots on the side, on that side is done. And the pot on, well, right there has been completely done. And yeah, so it is going to be completely dark by the time I do finish watering the soil. So sadly, there will not be an informational garden tour today. I don't even think I'm going to do one in the greenhouse because, to be honest, not much has changed today besides me changing some plants up. Plus, it'll give me some time to just focus on exactly what and where I'm going to plant everything. And yeah, this will basically be the end of the video. Now, you know what? I'm just going to give you guys a really quick tour. So I got a ton of pots right here. I'm hoping these could be the blueberry plants. No clue what's going to go on this. I'm thinking peppers right there. Just a ton of potatoes, onions, and maybe some other stuff. A ton of herbs, basil, parsley, cilantro, a ton of lettuce, and just a ton of stuff. Right here, I'm thinking that could be a flower pot. I'm thinking this will mainly be carrots for the most part right there. This is going to be 2 rows of just cherry tomatoes. On the other side, I'm not really going to walk on that side yet because I just don't feel like walking around the entire house because I've been over there like 8 times in the past like 20 minutes. So that area will have basically all flowers, and there will be about 2 to 3 rows of tomatoes, either full-size tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where I'm going to plant each tomato, but I think that would be the most ideal thing. Then I'm going to do a small patch of sunflowers, which is going to be right there. This soil is tilled too. And then right here, I'm going to do a very beautiful display of flowers. It's going to be either zinnias or marigolds, or if like Lowe's has some pretty cheap but really, really awesome flowers there, I might consider putting those in this. But once I do plant the stuff right there, I'm also going to be doing some along the border around the pot too. So I think that could look like just incredible. So very, very excited for all of that. And yeah, this will now basically, oh, and right there where those signs are, that's where all of the cucumber field will basically be. I will have to prune that a lot throughout the summer because last year I did not, and it basically took over everything once we hit like July. So I'm going to try to prevent that a little bit more. Plus it was very, very hard to take out at the very, very end of the season. And yeah, this is going to be the end of the video. If you guys like these types of videos, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you not miss every video, and please like this video. I'm going to go ahead and turn the water up because the watering system's having a little bit of some problems right now. But yeah, if you guys do like these videos, thank you all so incredibly much for watching today's video. We have done so many videos like this, and today in a way is kind of part 2. Yesterday we did just a huge day of getting all these pots ready for today, and then tomorrow I have no clue what I'm doing tomorrow. I just, whatever happens tomorrow. I might pick up some bags of soil tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, this will basically be the end of the video. So thank you all so incredibly much for supporting the channel and watching today's video, and I'll see you guys, well, tomorrow when we post next. Peace.